10 little turkeys sat in their pen. Hide, turkeys, hide, said the little red hen. One little turkey flew far away, but the other 9 decided to stay. 9 little turkeys.
Something about this song just gives me the heebie-jeebies. Because all I can think about is the OCC sitting around on Turkey Day trying to plot their revenge of how to destroy Oconee County. And right now they're doing a pretty damn good job of it.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It is 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes. We're so excited. We got so much news.
And does it seem like in just the last, 5 days that Oconee County has went to hell in the handbag and lives have been ruined and destroyed and so much stuff, just evil going on in Oconee right now. Craziness.
Well, you probably ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, no, it's just getting warmed up. Tonight it is county council meeting, and we're going to go live to Walhalla, South Carolina, to the Pine Street Administration Complex. And there's some interesting things getting ready to happen tonight. One of those is in executive session, and if you saw the stuff in the paper today, there's a thing concerning the county attorney, and we have on authority that the county attorney is set to resign tonight. But there is a executive action item concerning the county attorney in executive session. Also, was it Mr. Morey is going to have a presentation tonight from council?
Oh, yeah, he's primed and ready to go down there and give them the old what for.
Yeah, well, we're anxiously awaiting the 6 o'clock start.
Charter members of the Morey fan club.
I'm telling you, I love the guy. I love his wife. I love the good people.
And there was a planning commission meeting last night.
You are not working, Mr. Ruin. Talk to me again, sir.
There was the planning commission.
There you go.
Last night.
Oh boy, that was a barn burner.
Oh yeah. No, Frankie, the chairman.
He let it go.
Now, you gonna tell me what to do with my land?
Nobody's gonna tell me, by God, what I'm gonna do with my
and
property.
The magic word is REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust. And I got some news when Jeff will let me talk about it, just a little bit to help out the Mountain Rest people.
Well, for the most part, this should be easy peasy. Brief. There's a couple of fee in lieu of agreements that's going to be voted on. One of them is concerning the Utica plant, and that one is going to be coming up here tonight for another reading. But again, I said this earlier today to someone, why in the world do you have a county council meeting right before Thanksgiving? You could have had it last week where everybody was around. But anyway, hindsight's 2020. While we're waiting,
because you don't want people to watch it.
That's true. While we're waiting, Chris, go ahead and a little bit enlighten us a little bit about that planning commission.
So I'm wearing my Woodruff Road shirt because of the 1 year anniversary is before I went before the council 2 times, and that's when old Nick's called me a Marxist, and Perry Smith was telling people to confront me, and I was talking about all this crap. Well, I was wrong because it's 10 times faster. So Frankie's the chairperson, and I guess there was some discussion, and he wanted to make sure he was very dramatic. Hey, nobody gonna tell me what to do around here on my land. Okay, zoning doesn't do that. But this is the thing I wanted to get to. I got a call the other day from a guy that I've had for 25 years doing my investments, and he said, I thought you'd find this interesting. I just came across my desk about Rest Mountain in Oconee County. I said, where the hell? He goes, I don't know. You live there. I said, Rest Mountain? I said, read that. He goes, oh, wait, no, Mountain Rest.
Rest Mountain.
Mountain Rest. So here it is, Mountain Rest, people. And Matt Durham represents you. There is a REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust, that's forming as an LLC. Of course, people don't talk about it. I was offered to be an investor. Of course, I can't afford it at the level a lot of people are. Maybe I'll do it. But here's the thing. Mountain Rest. Forget Fair Play. You know what? People don't like me to say it. It's a goner. Mountain Rest is a target. And people are talking about a community. And I had to hear about it myself. 6,000 homes of a gated community up in Mountain Rest. And I was telling them, I said...
6,000?
And I said, well, wait a minute. They don't even have sewer. And he said, let me get some information. And then I talked to Jeff, And Jeff can explain how they do it without sewer. You can do it,
You can put a package plant for the development.
which is exactly what the
for
guy said.
Example, I'll give you the Clemsonville project, I call it, which is the old West Point Stevens plant down at the county line. The county inherited that plant, and they had an actual package plant for the old textile plant. So you can do that. They're doing it at Exit 1 with the Welcome Center. West Oak High School has one. So you can do, within the DHEC regulations, you can do these package plants that do the sewer on site.
And these are professional. Guys, these guys don't screw around. Now, you got Miles and Rest people, they come up here. You know what? You're talking multi-millions of dollars. I think the cops will pay attention.
You know,
but here's the thing,
it
guys.
reminds me something, just sitting here listening to what you're saying. Forget fair play. Fair play is out of the question.
Absolutely.
They're getting a Spinks and a QT and whatever else. Does this not sound
all kinds
like
of good stuff.
Dolly Parton's involved, and she's coming down here to open up Dollywood at Mountain Rest, and they're going to have the Matt Durham tornado? Because that's all that happens up there in that neck of the woods is tornadoes all the time.
Nobody is going to tell you what to do with your land. That's not how zoning works. But here's the thing.
But I got to tell you.
You can't tell them what to do with these 6,000. And when you look at six easily moves to 10,000. You got a lot of land up there.
It's very interesting right now that it's 6:04 and they still have not started.
Well, it was 10 minutes after 6 last week.
No,
or the last time.
No, we got it right on at 6.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, Matthew's probably getting paddled about the 10,000 homes that are going to happen.
Well, but he probably don't even know about that
No,
yet.
I'm sure he doesn't. This is my Christmas gift to him.
So, but really, it's not unexpected that people would want to invest in mountain chalets that are cheaper than what they got in Cashers, which is already overpopulated.
You know,
it won't be long.
Cashers dodged a major bullet
big time
in 2021 where a developer was going to come in and was significantly going to change the crossroads. They call it the plateau, the crossroads, Highlands, and Cashers, that they were going to really develop the headwaters of the Savannah River under Whitestone. So the local community got behind, and they fought it. They fought it. Let's go to Walhalla now with the county council meeting for tonight.
I call to order this regular Oconee County Council meeting. Let's begin with a moment of silence.
No Glenn Hart. No Glenn Hart.
And no
Julian Davis.
Really?
No Glenn Hart. No. Well, Julian, I know he's got a prior commitment tonight.
So they only need 3. Though.
3 is a quorum.
Great.
But really, they only need 1.
No, you have to have 3.
They just need Matt. Matt's the only one they need.
Yeah. I was hoping Matt would become the attorney.
Well, you won't see Perry Smith because he's in our audience.
Thank you for this rain, for the healing and growth it's bringing to the land.
Growth that's bringing to the land.
There he is.
Thank you. And thank you for your healing all together. And for
Stop talking. He's praying.
Pray together that healing would keep and continue, and he would be restored and even made better by your hand. It's your hand in it. You turn all bad things into good, and we are so appreciative of that. We pray that this meeting would go well, and it would be your meeting by your will. Amen.
Mr. David Dow, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Why aren't they standing up?
They are.
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
With liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have approval of minutes for the October 17th, 2023 regular council meeting.
The motion to approve.
Motion, Mr. Elliott.
Second.
Second. Any discussion or changes? Hearing none, all in favor?
That is 3-0.
Next, we have county attorney comments, Mr. David Root.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, matter, I need a motion to amend the agenda to remove the Terracon, got a label here, it's an action item, titled PO 55323 Terracon Phase 2 Construction Testing for the Golden Corner Commerce Park. I need to regather those materials and I'll have them ready for you at the next meeting.
All right, so motion to remove agenda item for the Terracon bid. I made that motion.
Second.
Second, any discussion? Then we're amending the agenda to remove Terracon Phase 2 construction testing from the agenda. All right, all in favor?
That is 4-0.
Okay, I would like to make an additional, motion to amend the agenda, to add a discussion and/or action item following council member comment, concerning, ballistic protection for an officers, primarily do with, vehicles.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
That is 4-0.
And Mr. Chairman, just so I could, I have to have an exigent circumstance for that, since it may have action. Obviously, the recent shooting is that emergent and exigent circumstance why we press forward with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Root.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next we have county administrator comments, Mr. Amanda Brock.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of council. I do not have anything related to the agenda this evening.
Thank you. Ms. Brock, public comments?
First, we have Mr. David Dow.
Good evening, council. My name's David Dow. I live in the Richland community, and I just come to you with a bit of concern. About 3 months ago, I heard a rumor, I thought, that our election office had failed a Homeland Security audit. And I thought, I didn't know Homeland Security Administration did audits for election offices, but apparently they did. About a month ago, I heard that actually we had failed that audit 3 times. And I thought, wow, that's something. Well, recently, Mr. Murray came to one of a meeting, and he was asked about this, and he couldn't go into much detail about it. He said that if he did, it would give away the vulnerabilities that our election office has, whatever that is, equipment, storage, whatever. And I thought, well, that's good, but all I'm wanting you folks to do is when you can, and I understand the council's been briefed on these audits, but when you can, to please let the public know, and if you can't do that, please, let's, I know we're not Fulton County. I mean, we've got more integrity in our little finger than Fulton County's got in their whole body, Georgia. But if you guys can just make sure we get this squared away, I sure would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dowell. Just a reminder, I forgot at the beginning, it's 5 minutes for public comment. I'll hold up the yellow sign when you approach 4 minutes, red sign when you reach 5 minutes.
Mr. Tom Markovich.
Good evening, thank you, council. I'm here to speak about ordinance 2023-22. The development standards for lighting, buffering, and open space. Needless to say, being in the home building business my entire life, I have issues with this ordinance. I feel like it paints a target on housing, period, especially affordable housing. And more specifically, this ordinance puts a burden only on residential properties, and that's an issue. The lighting is burdened on just residential. In other words, if I'm going to do a residential project, I've got this lighting thing, but I could have another use that comes in and be right beside me. It might be commercial. It doesn't apply to them. So what good is it going to do to have a lighting ordinance that only applies to this particular type of residential development? The buffer standards. I had raised this issue in Planning Commission 2 weeks ago, and I'm glad to see that at least somebody noted that there needed to be somebody who's going to end up being responsible for that piece of property in some sense. Although I'm not sure it's any real responsibility. Again, this whole issue of buffer standards falls only on residents. And again, that's an issue. I think, housing's taken a hit for things that people want to have everywhere else. And, so when we talk about this is to protect the public, this isn't to protect the public, this is denying housing. That's all it is. There's a lot of questions that come in terms of specifics on that, talking about,
Okay, I have to stop this right here, and this needs to be addressed. We have a problem now of oversaturation of developments coming in. We have no roads being paved. We have no infrastructure. How the hell are we going to be able to survive with all this growth if we don't have some sort of development standards put into place to control the growth? You don't have affordable housing going in. Do you consider a $300,000 to $400,000 home affordable housing when somebody's only making $25,000 or $30,000 a year?
Yeah, but the people that are making those decisions aren't making $35,000 a year.
That's correct.
exactly right.
That's exactly right. And again, this is a builder. I would expect a builder to be protecting his interest, and that's all he's doing.
And he's not a builder of affordable
Housing.
homes.
No, he's not.
No, he's building the $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 homes that the average Oconee citizen is having a problem now, and they can't even pay their rent at $1,200 and $1,300, $1,400 a month, and they're getting slum housing.
Yep.
We got something coming later about that.
I got to tell you. Last year was the last year that there would be affordable real estate in Oconee County.
I mean, nothing. With this lull and everything's going on, we're going into a presidential election. In historic past, the housing market and things start taking a turn for the worst. Unfortunately, right now in Oconee, I'm not seeing that. Everything is still astronomically out there as far as homes for sale. If when you find it, and if you put one on the market.
But there's a lot of homes for sale that aren't selling too.
We know of one right now that's not selling.
So I had a lady call me probably wanting to talk about that. I gave her some advice to maybe price it within the market and it'd sell. But
anyway, I just wanted to clarify that.
Let me just say one thing
ahead.
about. Okay, so this guy is doing his job. He's a capitalist. He's a builder.
Yep.
He's protecting his profits.
Yep.
And he knows that in order for him to do some of these things, it's going to eat into his profit.
Yep, I get it.
But he's going to pass it on to the homeowner. The homeowner is going to complain, whatever. But at the end of the day, what's going to happen is these guys that are sitting on that planning commission and the three majority leaders, they're destroying this county. This county is getting destroyed. And the reason you're seeing a lot of this building is because it's so easy to build. Every builder will adjust, no matter what it is, whatever development standards are, they're going to adjust to it and they're going to still make a buck and they're still going to come in. But you just wait until Mountain Rest starts getting this. You wait, folks.
All right, let's go back to the broadcast.
A lot of us feel in the county that aside from public safety, the county ought to provide roads. So what I've done here is I'll go through these facts real fast for you. 502 miles of county roads. An asphalt road, when it's designed for a 20-year lifespan. That means after 20 years, it's going to start falling apart. And you're going to have to start maintaining it. And it's going to start cracking. It's what we call alligator in the business. And it starts making the public mad. That's where I am tonight. I'm mad. So, and the next item there, I point out to you that in 2022 and 2023, there was 5.96 miles paved in the county at a cost of $199,000 a mile. Next item, in between 2014 and 15 and 21-22 year, we paved 9.67 miles. And between 2014-15 and 22-23, you completed repaving of 20.45 miles over a course of 9 years. So I think it was very realistic of me to take semi-recent history and say, you paved 20.45 miles of repaved, 20.45 miles of road in 9 years. Okay. So if you take the 502 miles and divide it by the 9 years, it's going to take you 221 years, 3 lifetimes, to repave the roads in the county. Now that would be good if you started today and the roads you have on the ground are, and we take the new paving plan and say, let's repave these roads in a cycle that will bring them back to a drivable condition when their lifespan is over at 20 years. So that's what I did in the new paving plan. I took the liberty of helping you out this evening. Y'all don't have time to deal with this yourself. So if you spend $5 million a year,
So you don't have time to deal with it yourself. Give him a round of applause. Oh my God, that was wonderful. Great day in the morning. So,
But he's not done. He's not done.
Oh, he's not?
No.
He's about to wrap up.
Oh, he's fixing to give them the plan. So
Okay.
let's listen to the
25
plan.
miles of road.
Okay.
That's at 200,000 a mile. It'll take you 20 years to repave the 502 miles. And then you'll need to restart that cycle because your roads that you took 20 years to repave have now gone to crap again, so you need to start over. So it's very evident from what we can see here that the county has not, in history, given too much of a damn about taking care of the roads. 3 lifetimes we need. Your lifetime, your sons, your grandsons, and halfway through your great-grandson before they're going to pave that road in front of your house again at your current rate of doing business. I appreciate your thoughts. I hope you can come up with $5 million a year and start to get this repaving program underway.
Only $5 million?
But he's being generously realistic with only doing 9 miles per year.
I know. All right, who we got now? Mike Crenshaw's coming up now.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, council members. I wanted to come and make a few comments, but just to publicly say thank you as you all represent the citizens of our county. Last Thursday, 19 p.m., evil reared its ugly head in our county. When we heard shots fired, Kilo 6 is down. We've never heard that radio traffic in the history of Oconee County across our radio. The men and women of the sheriff's office didn't hesitate to confront that evil and stop that evil. Right behind that was the citizens of this county supporting and praying for Deputy Lucas Watts, who was shot, his family, the men and women of the sheriff's office, unlike anything that we've ever seen or experienced before, of people, citizens of this county that were praying for our deputy. Many citizens didn't even know who he was. They never met him, but yet they're praying for our deputy. God intervened and answered those prayers. So we just appreciate everyone that has shown the support toward us. Party affiliation hadn't mattered. I learned today, it doesn't matter if you're a Clemson Tiger or a South Carolina Gamecock. Coach Beamer, in his press conference in Columbia today, acknowledged Corporal Lucas Watts and remember him in prayer. Calls from, and it's expanded, folks. I mean, I've gotten a call from as far away as Pennsylvania, a lady that's making a prayer blanket for Lucas and his family. So, Mr. Chairman, it did not go unnoticed that you were there Thursday night at Greenville Hospital. I didn't get a chance to see you or talk to you a whole lot, but I saw you talking to our deputies, and I want to thank you for coming personally, and I'm sure you're representing all of council members as council chairman there. Madam Administrator, you reached out to me, and I appreciate that. Some of you in here have texted, called, emailed, but it hadn't gone unnoticed as well that we appreciate the prayers that you've surrounded our folks with. We're not done. That's the biggest reason I'm here. Lucas Watt still has a long way to go. You know, he's still in critical condition. From Thursday until today, you know, Haley blessed me with the opportunity to visit him this morning. And he's making some baby steps. But I'm here to ask for you and our citizens of our county to continue praying for Lucas, continue praying for Haley, his wife, 7-week-old son. You know, that just pray that God will continue to intervene, heal his body. And I told him today when I was holding his hand, I said, oh boy, I said, you ain't never seen a celebration like we're gonna have when you come out of this hospital. So, but thank you again. Thank Oconee County. We've been overwhelmed with just the love, prayer, support. Like I say, it's gotten us all through this, but you know, we're fine. But Lucas still needs our prayers. So I want you to continue to pray for him. Mr. Chairman, I appreciate your consideration tonight on your amended motion. I will share with you, it's not something that it's going to hurt our investigation, but we actually had 2 deputy cars that took bullet holes to the windshield that day. The other one barely missed our deputy by just a few inches, or would I had 2 deputies in the hospital, or possibly deceased. But I appreciate you, appreciate your support, and thank you for this time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
And last we have Miss Zephyra Benson.
Good evening. My name is Zephyra. I live in the Bayshore community, Oconee County, and I am coming to request a change to Chapter 4 and the ordinances related to animals in the county. The first page you'll see is highlighted with specific changes to that section, mainly in changing wording. It's specific to cats and dogs. I think we are aware now that that's expanded well beyond cats and dogs, and I think the wording should be changed to animals to be broader to cover that range. Also to change the fees associated as well, because they are too low. I think sometimes if you hit people hard enough in the pocketbook, they pay a little bit more attention and they get serious about what they're doing. Also in the top, I added the section from the state's website, so if someone had a question about how that connects to the state law, it's there. It doesn't have to be printed in full like it is here, but maybe a link to the state website so somebody can go back and look and see that connection. On the second paper that I gave you, it is a compilation that I took from different ordinances from throughout the state of South Carolina, from Greenville, Spartanburg, Charleston, even through Landrum and some other areas, to add in to this ordinance some guidelines for persons who want to own fowl specific to chickens, and guidelines in how to keep them, take care of them, not letting them run at large.
Oh my God.
Doesn't our dentist live in Bayshore, and doesn't he have a farm over there?
Uh-huh. And on top of this, we have been down this road already back probably 9-10 years
Like
ago.
the cuckoo just went off.
When Etta Kamick wanted to do a per pet fee for every pet in Oconee County. You know what's going to happen? No damn body's going to pay for it, and they're going to dump all the cats and dogs on the side roads all over.
Yep.
That's happened. That was talked about. And I'm telling you, it started World War III in Oconee County. Don't mess with somebody's pets.
Well, here's the thing.
Chicken now. We're going to deal with chickens too now.
But here's the thing. The more people we have coming here from other places are going to continue to bring the rules and regulations from other places here. Now, it's clear that this lady looked at Greenville, Spartanburg, Charleston, and Providence, Rhode Island, and downtown L.A., and all these other places. But this used to be the country. And we all moved here because it's the country, not downtown L.A. or Pittsburgh or any of those other places.
This isn't Greenville, South Carolina.
And this change, when that Mountain Rest Real Estate Investment Trust shows up there on the mountain, what are they going to do with all the bears and the squirrels and the turkeys?
They're going to have to get rid of them. They got to go somewhere.
No, I've been waiting my turn.
But that's really this thing here. I understand if you got a biting dog and it gets out of hand, those things need to be addressed.
Yeah.
And every pet should be made to have a rabies license, rabies tag.
That's the state law.
Right. But that's the end of it. There doesn't need to be a pet tax. We don't need $10.
I don't know, man.
a dog.
I've seen some mean roosters.
But you know what I'm saying? And she's right though. If you can have a junkyard in your yard, why can't you have an alligator farm?
What are you going to say, Chris, real quick?
Okay, so I hear what Rannie's saying. I don't think people moving in, I don't even know why. You know what? The problem we have here is people do not understand that people moving in here pay the same taxes that anybody else does. And if they're paying the same taxes, I don't give a crap whether somebody's lived here 1,000 years. They have every right to voice their opinion and make things better. Because as an example is, you look at what's happening in this county right now with all this shit that's turning this place into Pigeon Forge. That's not people coming in from the outside. That is people from Mountain Rest and all these other places on the planning
Outside development
no,
all day long.
No, wait a minute.
Wait.
No.
That guy is from here. That developer is from
But
here.
his backers is from outside development.
And if you look, if you want to talk about the county council,
you guys, wait a minute. You cut me off.
Matt Durham is not from here.
Rannie, I want to finish this because Jeff made a comment that he was wrong about. You talk about outside. You have a planning commission and a council that basically has no controls in a county. So if you have no controls in a county and all this open land and it's cheap, how can you fault people coming into this area to develop? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? That's called capitalism.
But you misinterpreted everything I said.
No, I didn't. I heard exactly what you said.
What I said was the more the people come here, the more rules they're going to bring from elsewhere. Most of the time,
L.A., you said Pittsburgh, you said all
I
these
sure
places.
did. I said Spartanburg, I said Greenville, I said Charleston.
What about Texas?
What about Texas?
Well, there you go. They're bringing their rules in too.
Absolutely. And everybody that comes here is going to bring change.
Yep.
Okay.
And that is exactly what I said.
Yep.
So when they change it from the country to being like Pigeon Forge, we're here to say we told you so.
Okay.
That's what I said.
No. what I heard is that because people were coming in, that they knew what they were coming in for, and they should not be having their opinions as far as
I never said that. I
Okay.
said as they bring these opinions in, it's going to make change in our community.
Well, yeah, because they're residents.
That's what big development's going to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
But what's happened is people coming in that are trying to make change for the better to protect the county. The people that are causing this issue with overdevelopment in this county is people that came from here.
Mm-hmm.
Durham and all these guys.
Do what?
But Durham didn't
No.
come from here.
Durham
yes, sir.
didn't come from here. Half of you, how many people came from outside
Where did he
South
come from?
Carolina
All right.
that
Where did
lived,
he-
that
where did
came
he
from the
come
lake?
from? Where'd he come from?
Pickens County.
Okay.
Okay, but
Well,
wait
one
a minute,
comic-
wait a minute, hold on. That is grossly misaccurate. How many people moved here that came in to build on the lake? There's not a lot of local residents that
Okay.
builds on the lake.
Let
you
me,
have
okay,
people all
I'm sorry.
over.
Let me
Kiwi
rephrase.
Key
Let me rephrase.
is a
I said I was
prime-
sorry. Let me rephrase what I wanted to say. So, you have people that are sitting on that planning commission and on that county and the OCC that fight any type of common sense zoning every single day. Is that true?
Yeah.
It is true.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have people that are coming in here that are saying, holy shit, I've moved from place or I've been in places where I've seen we're turning this place into a zoo. And they're being fought tooth and nail by people that do not want that change to happen. As a consequence, it's going to destroy this county. It's destroying it as we see it. And the people that are stopping that within the OCC, the largest percentage of those people, wasn't McMahon going to have a test given to people moving in here to make sure?
That's what he said.
The biggest percentage of the OCC is who? People that have been here, grew up here?
It's changing.
No, it's a lot of people from other places.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have the president
But
that's
this
not
was
from
about
here.
animals.
You have the vice president that's not from here. The whole dynamics of the OCC has changed in the leadership. They're out from outside. They're not from inside. And
All I
they're
got to
bringing
say is
all their
clearly y'all
ideas.
never been chased
But wait a
by
minute.
an
Hey,
angry
wait a minute.
rooster.
They're the ones that live on the lake now.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm telling you is that the dynamics of Oconee County changed in 1972 when Realitech purchased it with the Crescent Resource when Kiwi Key was formed, and you had everybody from outside coming in buying lake property.
So-
this problem did not happen from the locals. This happened from people moving from outside of South Carolina,
Okay,
and
now
it's
what
been
about
that
fair
way.
play?
Fair play is
And 123.
that's
and what's
local.
talking it up in
But-
Mountain Rest?
But here, let's
Okay,
back up.
Mountain
Let's
Rest,
back
wait a minute,
up.
hold on. Mountain
Let's back
Rest,
up
Mountain
and start
Rest now,
talking.
wait a minute, hold on. Mountain Rest has more outside people influence now in certain areas buying property, not the locals.
But let's back up to this lady's problem.
This, yeah,
It's
this is about
obviously
animals.
chickens.
Yeah.
Okay. The problem is not a county ordinance. Her problem is with her HOA in Bay Shore that says that you can't build fences around your property. So these people can't keep their chickens in their yard.
Okay.
So she's got an HOA problem, not a county ordinance problem.
Which she could have anywhere in the country.
But her HOA problem is not my problem in Mountain Rest because I don't have those rules.
And I agree. And it's not my problem
So
either.
she
Or
need
mine.
so
I
she's
can't have
coming to
chickens in
the
my
she's
neighborhood.
coming to the county to address this issue that affects a very small community
Right.
that has a rule in their books that says you can't have fences. Well, everywhere I've ever been, good fences make good neighbors. So
Okay.
she needs to take
Now,
that
I don't
up
disagree with what
with
you
her
just said.
HOA.
What does that have to do with people coming from Pittsburgh and LA and people coming in the county? You got a person that's got if there's a person that has an HOA, that's her problem to deal with.
Right.
Now,
Because
I look
she's
at
wanting
that.
to make
but she's
a
wanting-
rule
for
for
the
the entire
whole county.
Right. That
when
could be
she's
fixed.
got a neighborhood problem.
But
Right.
it could be fixed in her neighborhood, not
Right.
at
Not
the county
up to
council.
That's right.
So
Which is really her opinion. She can do it no different than what zoning does.
Right, but it's my opinion that she's in the wrong place with her argument.
Because there's a lot of farmers here that are not going to go with this bird thing that she's talking about.
Right.
Exactly.
Because we need some eggs.
Hey, look,
we need eggs. We
look,
need farms.
But
And
here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's livestock rules that say if you have cows in the county and they get out and they get hit by a car, the person who hit your cow is responsible for paying you for your cow.
Okay.
So
So
now
basically,
some farmers probably going
all
to jump out there and say that's not right.
And you made a good point.
But
Which means that when you look at what's happening in the county with no planning, no zoning, nothing, unrestricted, control free, then basically that's the way to go. That's
But-
what you're just saying.
The same token, if your cow gets out and gets on somebody's property and starts destroying things, then that person can have beefsteak for dinner.
that's right, and you can also be
And you
charged
get
for
free
the damage.
milk.
So, but here's the thing: the HOA's causing the problem that she can't contain her neighbor can't contain their livestock,
Okay.
right? Because there's a rule, says no fences, right? That's the QE thing, no fences.
But you support zoning.
These are HOA rules.
I know that.
This
but
is
you
not
support-
zoning.
But when you support zoning, the thing is, Randy, here's the issue I have. You guys immediately jumped into everybody from the outside moving. I happen to be somebody that's moved in here.
Look, well-
you did. So at
And-
the end
and-
of the
and
day,
I've got the-
it's a
I've got the-
person that has an issue with an HOA. That's fine. Let her have
But
the
but
issue.
here's the thing.
But you're different.
But here
you haven't
no.
come in. You've come in logically, and we sit here collectively. We agree. You're not coming in here like trying to do this crap. Over 60
We
something.
haven't heard everything she said, though.
No, but here's the thing. Chris took off on one little snippet. He heard
What
people that
step?
wasn't from
you
here.
mentioned 5 cities,
And
Pittsburgh, blah blah blah.
that's
blah,
where people
which
are
had
coming
nothing
from.
to do with what this woman was saying. You were talking about people coming from the outside.
Actually, Chris, it is. This is exactly what happened.
I disagree.
We've got to
No, 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 no.
finish, we've
No.
got to finish listening
This
to what she
happened-
said.
Hold up, time out. This happened 10 years ago, the exact same thing. And this was put forth by the Lake people. This is Etta Gamick. She was District 1 representative. And it happened from Kiwi Key that they wanted this. They wanted to charge per a pet, $25 per a pet.
Per year, probably.
It was per year, exactly.
Okay, so if you look behind me, I live on the lake. I don't agree with what the lady said. But that doesn't mean I'm going to start talking about people from the outside making these things because, in my opinion, if somebody's paying taxes, I don't give a shit how long somebody's lived here. You pay taxes, you are equal, and you have a right to your own opinions. If you want to come before a council, that's it. And I think when people have a tendency to sit there and start bashing people because they're coming from the outside, then that makes it bad for everything else that we're trying to do.
And I think if you go back and listen to what I said, I wasn't bashing her for what she's saying. I just said that as people keep moving in here, they keep bringing these changes.
And new ideas.
from LA.
And you can expect more.
Well, what's wrong? What do you got against
same.
LA?
He was just
What
saying.
was it? Why was that your trigger? Something happened to you in
No,
LA?
it wasn't a trigger. Pittsburgh.
He was just saying you can expect
Pittsburgh.
more
I could have said
change,
Dallas.
Changes.
more
well, there you go.
suggestions, and
Albuquerque.
people are going to want different things because the more people come from different places, they're going to expect different things.
Absolutely. And you're going to see a lot more of this. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you can sit there and start saying it's because there are people that are from here or been here like me for 20 years, and you say, okay, well, you've been here long enough that, okay, but I still have an opinion because I have reference points from other places. And I think people should have that right to be able to do that and be fair and just think in terms of she has a valid point. We don't agree with her, but it has nothing to do with them being from a different place. That what it does when you say that is it's bashing people that are coming in from someplace else. And that's not fair. I'm just saying that's not fair. It's your right. Doesn't mean I agree with it. And it's not a trigger. That's what you said. You used all these different cities.
You still keep getting snippy every time that you mention LA. So you've obviously got a problem.
I'll say for myself, I
Come on, man. I've been to LA. I like LA. I like Hollywood.
drive the county quite frequently for my job. Just last week, driving down the road, almost ran over a rooster that was in the middle of the road. There's no reason for it. If you want to have them, I don't particularly care, but keep them confined so they're not a nuisance to other people. But I would just like you guys to take a look at this, consider it, and adding it into the current ordinances, so that we can be more in line with some of the other counties across South Carolina, and also to be respectful of other property owners who have to deal with some of these things at current. Thank you.
That's all for this evening.
That's all. Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have council member comments.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
can I ask the sheriff to come back up and, I guess this family's gonna need a lot of financial support going forward. Can you tell us and the public how we can help?
Yes, sir. We've set up through a nonprofit, a fundraiser through Serve and Connect. 100% of those proceeds will go to this family. The only exception is any processing fees. So if you make a $100 donation, there's a $3 processing fee, and you can choose to make a $103 donation, or that $3 will come out. But outside of that, 100% of these funds will go to this family. For citizens, and I've had this today, some people don't have a credit card, some people don't have a computer or online. They can bring money to the sheriff's office, and we will, I personally carried them some funds today to kind of just start helping them out, getting them through with the expenses of driving back and forth and staying, and all expenses that they're gonna have. So, if anyone needs that link to that, call 638-4117, and we'll be glad to forward them the link for this one place that we're kind of steering all donations to. Going to be some additional fundraisers. Boone's Buggies is going to be donating a golf cart to the Sheriff's Foundation to auction off. It'll be forthcoming. I contacted today. Several T-shirt sales are ongoing. Oconee Country Club set up a golf tournament for December 9th, I believe it is, and it filled up, so 3 more golf courses are having tournaments on the same date for that as well. So several opportunities that folks can, if they want to get involved and donate through. But if they got any questions, they can call me at the sheriff's office at 638-4117.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
So, I guess not the last planning commission meeting, because they had one yesterday, but planning commission meeting before that one, the Salem residents that have a gun range next to the property came and talked. And, Mr. Chairman, I think you actually spoke with them in the meeting. And for 2 years now, I've tried to find a way to help them out. Can't find a way to help them out. But I don't want it to happen to any other citizens in Oconee County. So noise ordinance, say that right, currently excludes or exempts lawfully operating shooting ranges from the noise ordinance. I would like to change that to not exempt commercial operating shooting ranges. I don't want to stop people from shooting tin cans in their backyard, but I don't want commercial shooting ranges to be exempt going forward from the noise ordinance. So I make a motion that we change that language in the correct way to not exempt commercial operating shooting ranges, and direct staff to bring back a first reading next meeting.
Okay, I'll second the motion. So discussion?
Yeah, I got one question. Mr. Elliott, if we do this, if this goes forward and gets approved, how will it affect the ones that are in place now?
It won't.
It won't?
It
They'll
won't.
be grandfathered in?
Yeah, that's right, it'll be grandfathered in, so it will be just new ones.
Okay, I agree with that. That's fair. That really is a legitimate fairness. I think John, right down the middle. I like that idea. Now, this is something they should have done with the junkyard ordinance.
Right.
You know, leave everybody existing as is. Don't try to enact something. But again, this is a legitimate, you know,
But he's talking just noise, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, he's not talking about where some of these guys have said they had bullets that coming that hit, you know.
I know. I think that was kind of elevated a little bit to make it sound more than it actually was, because I know they're not doing any night shooting up there.
Here's the thing about that. Bullets coming from there that hit something. In Virginia, away from here, they've actually got a law. It's called trespassing by projectile.
Mm-hmm.
So during hunting season, like if you shoot across somebody, that's a problem. If you hit a house,
Yeah.
you have to pay for those damages and things like that. So it might be something they want to add to that.
I mean, I could get it. I mean, I think this is a very fair.
What about terrorizing their livestock?
Well, you know, we've had that happen before too around here. You know, people.
Let me tell you about terrorizing livestock. I got a story. It'll take
Okay,
won't
go
take
ahead.
long. So over on Poplar, what's that, Poplar Camp Road? Is that the name of that?
Where at now?
Coming out of Walhalla where the bridge crosses, and you turn left, you come back there, put Poplar something.
Poplar Springs. It's Poplar Springs
Yeah.
Road.
So I was back there with the American Legion doing a funeral one day, and there's the little church has got a field beside it full of cows, and them old Legion guys they always have these treats in their pocket like mints or whatever because they're old men. Well, they was down there feeding them to them cows, and every cow up there was in that whole field was along that fence, and we got up there and got in formation. It was time to shoot the guns. You'd have thought we started the Dixie Stampede. Them things took off, boom, across that thing. So animals do get scared real easy when it comes to guns.
You know, when we talk about this noise ordinance, think about this. There's no winners in this. They got the gun ranges, invested all that money.
Mm-hmm.
You got the people that were living there before, and then you have the new people that moved in. And it's kind of like, now you got people pointing fingers at each other. It's going to end up in litigation. And it's like, it's common sense that if you're going to have residences, why would you have residences allow, and I'm talking about county, why would you allow residences near a gun range where you would have that kind of stuff?
Part of the issue goes to what we sit here and we've said before. We don't have zoning.
Yep.
Had we had some
Just
sort
the most basic zone. Just the most basic zone.
But I don't think
basic. And
I don't
then
think
every
you can-
time that hold on a second. Every time we start having this conversation, you go to 3 or 4 on that planning commission. What about my rights? Just like happened Monday night in the planning commission.
I like that.
What about my rights?
Who was that? Frank?
That was Frankie.
So-
what about my rights?
So there should be noxious activities, places, and boundaries around them.
Agreed.
Being in the military for 20 years, I was stationed in a lot of places. Virginia Beach, El Paso, Texas, in West Virginia. All these places got runways. Well, when they first built all these military bases, they built them away from anything. There was nothing there. Nothing. Well, they had zoning that said, hey, we create these encroachment zones. Don't build here. Don't build there. Well, as time moves on and it keeps getting more and more crowded, it gets more and more crowded, developers like old boy there said, well, this encroachment zone's impeding me building houses, and I'd really like to build some houses. Well, next thing you know, you're building houses at the end of the runway. And then people move into them, start bitching about the runway. Runway been there 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
You talking about runway?
yeah, at the end of a flight line.
Okay, well, yeah, we
So,
had that problem here too.
But the thing is it's people that keep coming because of that base is there.
Or the
They-
blasts.
Right? They come because they want to work there and live closer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then they don't like the noise because they live close to where they work. And it takes common sense
Okay, you just said it.
to create, and I think that the government
What makes sense, right?
right, but the government made the right decision by putting these bases 40 miles from town, and then town just grew to them, and that's going to happen here.
Because they wanted to make money.
Right, it's all about money.
You have another issue up there too. Not only the gun range and the other people, you now have some new developments that was not there that have already built. So when you turn on Nimmons Bridge Road off of Stamp Creek, right past the Salem Water Tower, you have 2 new developments that have just been recently built. Now, I know that's about a half a mile from the gun range if you keep going down Nimmons Bridge Road. But then you have a whole new development over here with 300-something acres that is in the process. It's been in the process for being developed for the last probably 4 years. They were going to do a winery there. And if you keep on going down, you've got the falls there. You got all of that development that's going in. So the gun range is sandwiched right in the middle. But I can't fault them for doing what is legal. There was no zoning. It was restrictions free. So they bought a piece of property
And create a gun range.
and created a gun range,
It's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
And it's not the residents.
And not. And you're right. You're exactly right. It's not the residents' fault either. So what's going to have to happen? It's a
perfect storm.
It's a perfect storm.
And let me give you a quick example. Randy had the point about the common sense. Okay, let me just give you an example. People on this commission and the council are not thinking mature. If you were thinking of maturity on this, you'd think, okay, what's going to happen with the gun range in a residential area or allowing a residential area to come in? You'd probably say something like, well, then create big, large berms around it. Then you'd have people saying, it's going to cost $1 million. Fine. You want a gun range? Create one a mile high. I don't know. I'm just saying that because these bullets will travel the distance. And what's going to happen, people will change their mind once a kid gets hit. Now, let me talk about other zoning that I talked about a few years back. When I was talking about zoning, I said creating zoning in manufacturing corridors for economies of scale to make it cheaper for infrastructure. But I said you don't want a distribution center near a residential area where kids are going to be riding their bicycles and going to the bus. It's just common sense. And these guys do not have the maturity level to think about things like that. Not only that, they can't withstand the pressure from people outside, and they have to sit there and just agree, all right, I'll let you do this. Because they're thinking in terms of what am I going to do for the next election? Why don't you just decide what is good for the county to protect the residents and create a good, vibrant community?
Well, they'll do that if it's something that's going to put money in their pocket.
Exactly. And that's what it is.
Because we know now that apparently we're getting a Spinks on exit 1 and we're getting Quick Trip. I mean, all of this just magically
Jeff,
bam.
We're not getting anything.
No, we're not getting anything.
We're getting screwed.
We're getting screwed with no KY.
And no due diligence.
But when have you thought, man, I really wish that there was the Spinks at exit 1?
Yeah, I want to drive down and get gas. Again, we only got 4 miles of Interstate 85 in Oconee County. And all these people sitting down here, you think if they're going to drive across state line, they're going to stop at Spinks?
If it was at Buc-ee's, I'd go.
Look, South Carolina's always been a drive-through state. It's not big enough to really need to stop for anything. And if you take a look from over there on 95, from south of the border, all the way till you get to Savannah, it's a desolate-ass wasteland.
You're in the middle of BFM.
There's nothing there. Nothing survives.
BFE.
And
yeah, well, how'd you end up with them?
I don't know.
But nothing.
Matt.
They put all kind of hotels down there around Santee Cooper and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they all went defunct. They're all just Zombieland hotels
South
now.
of the border did the same thing.
You know when when this county's not gonna be a drive-through? I bet Pigeon Forge was a drive-through too. It's not now. You wait. When it turns into a Pigeon Forge and the Gatlinburg and everything else.
But Gatlinburg now has more of the development than even Pigeon Forge. Everything migrated out to Gatlinburg.
Exactly.
And my God.
Oh, yeah. And all the houses up there, like it happened in Mountain Rest, they're going to be looking down at the aquarium.
Again, there comes a point that how much more can Oconee County take? We're taxing the roads. We don't have the infrastructure. Now we're sitting here, the potential of trying to run sewer all over Oconee County. Let me tell you something. There is no money to be made in shit. It is a capital waste. We've had this battle for years and years and years when it came to crap. And we're sitting here now that the local municipalities are charging now an added fee. Cathy, I don't know if you got it in the summer, if you saw that nice little $90-something bill that we got deemed, because I live in the city of Seneca, in the city limits, and we got this little special $95 little.
Just a one-time annual?
Well, we thought it was one-time annual, but apparently it's been reoccurring. So, again, the municipalities, they don't have the money. But you got Oconee County sitting up here that wants to do all this, but the municipalities is responsible for the Joint Regional Sewer Water Authority. And again,
nobody's thinking.
But you know what? The blessing in all of this is when they put 6,000 houses in Mountain Rest, Long Creek will get a school.
No, they won't. No, they can't even make up. That's another issue I'd like to get on the topic, but we need to get back to this.
They'll keep Kiwi Elementary, and they're going to bus you guys over to Kiwi Elementary.
They might as well.
They're going to make use of that.
Hey, but there used to be a school in Mountain Rest. It's now the Mountain Rest Community Center. Maybe they can refurbish it, get it back up to standards.
We know in 1969 there was 15 elementary schools in the county. 15.
And now they want to take us down to how many? 8?
8 and
7.
And again, that whole complete study that they just did. Nobody, there are very few that was happy about that. But again, I was happy to see that I was right on something. There was a lot of people in that survey that already said what I said before they released it. We have an attendance line problem because we have people going to schools that they're not designed for or zoned for. And that's creating a load where the attendance lines need to be redrawn.
I kind of get that, though. For example, for us, like I know that there are schools. Now, for me, I want my child to go where he goes because I'm 3 minutes away from the school.
Right.
And that makes me feel good. If he needs me,
exactly,
I can be right there.
Yeah.
But as far as education-wise, I know that some of the newer schools have a better special ed classroom setup. Not necessarily the teacher or the staff or anything. I just know from talking to the other moms that the classroom's newer, it's bigger, they've got a better setup going on just because it's a newer school. So realistically, if I wanted to do, the thing where I fill it out and say, I'd rather go here, and just be all about the size and the equipment and all that kind of stuff, it probably would be beneficial. I could see why somebody would do it if you have that situation.
Well, you know,
but when it puts a load and it's creating an issue that one elementary school is completely packed and it is over capacity, and you've got one over here that is way under there, that's an issue.
Well, and then I know too that it was my understanding that they had a lot of the non-speaking kids at Northside, and they had a classroom specifically for them. So you've got kids coming from all over the county to Seneca.
Wouldn't it make sense though to have every one of our schools equally, as far as elementary, to have equal all across the county when it comes to special need?
Wouldn't it make sense to have an autism class at every doggone school because you've got autistic kids at every school?
Yep.
I mean, come on.
You know what a school mobile is?
What's that?
Well, you know what a bookmobile is,
Yeah,
right?
I do.
Okay. Have you guys ever been educated in a
trailer? Yeah, that's how I went to high school.
So you watch.
We had that. We had the double wides.
Yeah.
We had the modulars.
Right.
I mean,
right.
because Seneca in 87, 88, we were over capacity.
With everything that's happening, everything was happening here.
Yeah.
You'll
But
you'll see them. They'll keep the wheels on.
Seneca Junior High School, before it became Seneca Middle, we were in the old Code Blue Ridge High School. It was the old African American school. At the very end of that school, it was over capacity with almost 900 students, and it was only designed for 700.
Yeah.
So you had to have 3 lunches. You had the portable classrooms. You had to go outside in the cold, walk into these classrooms. And then we changed a little bit. We did some construction. They built the new high school. We moved into the old high school at Seneca. That eliminated. But then they started putting some of them back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Now we have a new middle school. We have a high school. But we have a problem with Ravenel and Northside Elementary now that they're over capacity. You've already added on to Northside. You've already done work at Ravenel. The logical issue is to take Kiwi and put Kiwi in the Seneca attendance area because of the growth of Bountyland and this side of the lake.
Well, Kiwi is considered Seneca.
No, it's
anyway.
not.
Well,
Nope.
no, but I mean, physically, is
Physically,
that
it's Seneca.
Physically,
But
it's
physically,
Seneca.
it's sitting in the Walhalla attendance area.
Right.
So you have Walhalla Elementary, you have Kiwi here, but you have Tomasi Salem, but you've cut the territory for Tomasi Salem back. The attendance line's changed in the last 10 years. So you've got less students going to Tomasi because you wanted to move everybody back over to Walhalla. You wanted all those schools over there, so you want to take stuff out of Tomasi Salem. You've done it before. They did it before. That's why they built Walhalla where they built. They had the plan since 1979 to build Walhalla High School where it was at because they knew that they wanted to shut that down, even though the citizens of this county said
That was
no.
a beautiful little school.
And well maintained. They took pride up there. And again, Salem is a unique. It's actually a city. It's a town. West Oak, when it was formed, you just had a community, and you had Westminster High School. So you had a community and a city formed to create West Oak High School. They were pissed at that back in 1983 when that went through. They didn't want that.
But look at now.
Now-
Look at this challenge. You know, with this influx and the planning and all that. Where's the planning for the schools?
There's no
I
planning.
mean, they don't even know where the crap is going. So this shift, you got to feel for these administrators. How the hell they plan it?
Well, if you were to take and shut down a couple of areas, if you shut down Oconee Christian Academy and the Seneca Classical Academy, that's probably going to add 2,000 back to what we've got now. In other words, we've got 10,000 plus in school district of student population.
We've
Again,
got the Faith Academy too
Well,
over
okay.
in Walhalla, and
So-
then there's one out. Is it out in Fairplay or Oakway? There's one out there too.
I don't know about that
private
one.
school.
You got to think about all the homeschool too. There is a bunch of homeschool in this county.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're exactly right. Hey, Cathy makes a great point real quick. This comes from my lovely wife. By the way, you all know that I celebrate an anniversary tomorrow, right?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my wedding anniversary is tomorrow.
What, 6 years?
6 years.
Well, how did I know that?
Yep.
Congratulations.
I made it, thank God. I got the right one this time.
I remember that time I was married to somebody for 6 years.
That one time?
That one time.
I'll tell a story before
I've
we
actually
go
done
off.
it twice.
Cathy makes a great point. One thing the SDOC should consider is that at least when one area gets a new state-of-the-art school, the other shouldn't be neglected, and at least an attempt should be made to get the others up to the same standard. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wouldn't have people fleeing to the other school.
And then Walhalla Middle is the original high school, built in '66.
What?
So yeah, they're still in the old Walhalla High School that was built in 1966. So what are you going to do with Walhalla Middle? Are you going to build a new for them too? Because they deserve it. They are in a school that's over 50 plus years old.
And they're still in that school?
They're still in the middle school. Took the old high school. They're in there because the middle school that was built for them in 1978 was so shitty construction that the whole second floor has been vacated for 40 years because they couldn't use it. It was collapsing.
They could remove it and expand the greenway?
I knew you were going to get that. All right, let's get back to the council meeting. I know we got off track a little bit, but this is good conversations. I mean, this is actually what this show is about. Good conversations.
Thank you. Okay, so I think the key there is commercial operations, for-profit operations, not backyard shooting ranges. Any other questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That is 4A.
Okay, any other comments? Thoughts or concerns?
I do have one comment. I know Mr. Markovich has come up and spoke about these zoning, where's my paperwork? or development standards. I spoke a little bit with Frankie before the meeting started, development standards. It's becoming a common theme up here. I don't have all the answers, and we as a group here, a team, will have to help with that. But is there a way to employ the public to help write the verbiage for these development standards, or at least give them input to it, instead of us trying to solve it as a county? It's just an idea. It's a touchy subject, and it affects a lot of folks. It affects housing prices, but in my mind too, you want a nice neighborhood, and you want the aesthetics to be nice, but you want it affordable, but you don't want to impede progress. So it's just a comment.
Thank you, Mr. Miles.
Well, I have to give him a little credit there. We've asked the public to be involved before on this county planning thing that we do.
2020.
Yeah, and they, for the most part, have ignored everything in it. I mean, specifically, greenway projects are in there, and quality of life, balance, and beautiful rivers and lakes and stuff.
Well, it's almost seems to me like he hasn't taken the time to read the comprehensive plan so that he could defend the comprehensive plan to the other four clowns.
But I'll say this, I know that, but I'll say this, that's the first time that I've actually heard him talk about in a positive way, asking the community, the public. We've never heard Matt Durham say that.
No.
God know we never heard Glenn Hart ever ask the public to be involved in something.
Well, Mize will pay for that.
Well,
I'm sure he will.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that without rewatching the video, that Don Mize could tell you what John Morey talked about?
No.
Because he wasn't paying attention to what the public had to say when they're standing right in front of him.
Well, we know that two of them wouldn't even acknowledge him. I mean, you can sit here, look on camera, and you can see that Matt was too busy texting somebody, and Glenn has no idea where he's at.
Don't take sage advice from people that are old enough to be their parents or grandparents. They do not take sage advice from people who have lived life, who have
But
done
Don's in
the
his
job-
70s, ain't he?
No, Don's 60.
who have
Yeah, Don
done
is 60.
the jobs that they're attempting to do.
Don's 58 or 59. He's getting ready to turn 60, I think.
Who know the county or know the town, and they don't listen. I mean, when people who have great experience try to tell them things and they don't listen, I mean, what do you do with that?
And then when the public wants to have a conversation with the council, say at a town hall meeting, we get things said like, if I come, will you finally shut up?
Yeah.
Will you go away?
Yeah. Or
So-
we can't, it breaks the rules, it's a quorum.
So what kind?
By going to the Mexican restaurant.
I want to, Jeff. You can give him accolades for what he's doing.
No,
and that's fine. But my opinion
I'm
is,
not giving him accolades. Wait a minute. Whoa.
My opinion.
He's the best in the world.
Hold up. I'm not giving him accolades. I'm just saying a statement here. That's the first time I've ever heard, and he's been on council almost 1 year.
Yeah.
I'm not giving him accolades.
all I'm saying is that he's had multiple missed opportunities to have engaged with the public, got the public engaged, allowed. Well, even Chris, when you went to the planning commission meeting, how were you treated?
By him?
Not by him, but by the OCC and the other folks in the room.
He was treated like a butthole.
Well, yeah, except here's the thing. You take somebody like Teresa Spicer. She's pushing a rope with these guys. The comp plan. Every one of these guys sneers at that plan, except Teresa is new. She's got to tell these guys what's in that plan.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But how was your message received?
They call me a communist.
when you came down there,
You
right?
socialist communist.
So
No, just a communist.
but
Marxist.
But now when Mr. John Morey gets up there and he's like, "Hey, look, I did the research from your data from an undisclosed source that is intimately involved, got all the correct data, and found out that it would take 221 years to repave all the county roads in the county, not the state roads, but the county roads. 221 years.
Mm-hmm.
If these folks want citizens to know that they care about the county, action's got to be taken.
Action speaks louder than
Quickly.
words. Absolutely.
Quickly.
Right. You're right. But here's the thing. We don't have unlimited time. We don't have unlimited money. When you look at these things, zoning, roads, all this other stuff, that stuff is. Wait, let me just finish. You have to make hard decisions that are not popular politically. These guys, at least I know the majority, look as far as the end of their nose.
And they got some pretty short noses.
Well, not only that, and where are they getting their support from? The support they're getting is pushing them away from what the rest of the residents want, as proven by that comprehensive plan.
So before John got up there and talked, I had talked to him today about what he was going to say. And I was like, John, how are we going to pay for this $100 million road project? And he said he's not an advocate for raising taxes, but maybe we should stop giving tax breaks and tax cuts. There was people in the county that got a tax cut this year, not just stayed level and collected the money and go ahead and use it for infrastructure. But the more houses they build, the more money that's going to come in. And we don't need a millage decrease to stay under $60 million in the operational budget. We need that money to come in because we got more people living here, more people using things, and we need to spend that money on infrastructure.
We should stop building sewers where there are no people or no businesses and fix our roads.
Well,
you could have got a quarter of this road thing done with $25 million.
Yeah, but you could took his $25 million bond and you could turned around and put this towards infrastructure and things to make the county even better to support the growth that we actually have. But again, we put it right down on 4 miles of Interstate 85 where there's only a select few people that stand to make millions of dollars on the back of the county taxpayer.
And how many places are they going to destroy in the meantime?
They want to destroy fair play like crazy.
Fair play is done.
Then we have our county administrator working with the Fair Play Development Corporation.
No, wait. Okay, so wait a minute. That's a volunteer group. They're just citizens.
But again, getting them a grant for $50-something thousand
for what?
Apparently this has been an issue for 20 years. You got the old Fair Play Elementary School down there that's got some sort of gas tanks underground, and you got asbestos.
Well, I read about that a while back. They know what's under there. You're saying that they got money, tax money from the state, $55,000 to go ahead and look at the same thing that we already knew about?
Well, we just heard tonight that they had amended the agenda.
I want
They amended the agenda.
I want to say one thing.
They amended the agenda tonight over the Golden Corners Commerce Park. They took that completely off the agenda over what needs to be done down there. That happened. Here we go. We're doing the same things over and over and over in a cycle.
I wonder what the booger eater's going to say about that.
Wait a minute. That money was already set aside 4 or 5 years ago to do the grade and clean it up.
So I was talking real quick, talking to my source about that Golden Corner thing, and this $244,000 that they want to spend just for the planning stage, not the grading, just the planning part, includes soil studies.
It includes what?
Soil studies.
Right.
Well, I have in my possession the 1952 countywide soil study that was done by the university. They studied the whole county.
And the county ain't going to change that much from 52 to 2023 in the soil.
Dirt does not change without earthquakes and volcanoes and huge acts of God.
Well,
that dirt's going to be the same.
If Glenn goes out and uses the bathroom, it could change.
That's what I said, acts of God.
Yeah, but he only goes to the dump. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry.
But anyways, so why are we spending $244,000
Doesn't make any sense.
to have a company look at the 1952 soil study.
And it was supposed to have been the C fund money that was earmarked for that was designed to go ahead and grade it, and that was like 5 years ago.
But what are you going to grade?
Well, there's not been anything there, but what, a farm?
There was a farm.
Hay.
They grew hay there years ago, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, that just quit. I mean, they were actually farmers down there farming it, and then that was going to be the original.
We got a sewer system that they put water in once a month.
That was going to be the original Carolina Fair. Wait a minute, that's where they were going to put the Heritage Fair.
So let me talk to you about that. I had a source tell me that when they went out there to put the sign in the ground that said future home, they dug down like 6 or 7 inches and hit water. The water table 6 inches down there in places.
They don't need sewer. They can at least get the water.
So because just right down behind it is a watershed.
You cannot build Scout International battery plant on a place that's going to sink. It's not going to work.
That's right, Randy. You're exactly right, because right behind it is the Beaver Dam watershed. That area is under conservation down there. It's a watershed. It's a wildlife management.
But the thing about it is, I want to know this, and I've got to tickle my sources. What happened to the $1 billion, 1,000-person factory that we were in the top 2 for? That I guess we lost.
As far as I know, we're still in the top 2. But again, I can't see a
I'm
company.
sure they're very, very high-paying tech jobs. Too.
Well, but again, I can't see a $1 billion company coming to Oconee County with all the craps going on.
Well, with this labor pool.
Nobody wants to. Wait a minute. Nobody wants to work.
He said this labor pool.
But he's right.
We have no labor.
We have
pool.
no labor.
It's like a mud hole.
I mean, you can seriously, and I got the hairy eyeball for saying that. But you can statistically look it up and see what workers are available here.
We got over 8,000 people.
Skilled labor.
Jobs. We've got skilled labor jobs
the
now.
Skilled labor that's available here. We do not have the skilled labor in this county to support.
Because nobody wants to work
No,
anymore.
well, there's
but you don't need to work.
Look at all the
aren't
counties.
here.
But look at the counties that are.
Hey, look
at all these counties that are drawing that labor to them. You're in an area. You've got Pickens. You've got Anderson. You've got Georgia. I mean, all these places are drawing from the same labor pool. You got a company, they're not going to expend millions of dollars, or they're like, shit, I won't be able to get people.
You got 3 major employers. You got Clemson University, big one, 5,000 plus. You got Duke Energy, Oconee Memorial Hospital. There's your 3. There's nowhere else.
Let me just say one thing. When you look at this, everything that we talked about for the last year, we have a lot of I don't view them as complicated per se as far as, from a technology. You got complicated decisions happening because you have so many moving parts in the county. You got all this development coming in. You've got a schools issue. You got a labor issue. All this. You got a roads issue. You have all this stuff.
Emergency management.
Right. The problem is.
We got a fire department. Well, never mind. I ain't going to say what I want to say.
Exactly. And here's the thing. And you've got all these people out there that are clamoring, I need this, we need that, blah, blah. Okay, so here's the thing.
So
let me finish. I went before that planning commission and I told them, we have infrastructure issues. You are a political lightning rod. Nobody is going to listen. You need to get an independent study so they come in and you can say, guys, here are 2 charts that tells you where the issues are and what it's going to cost to fix it. And people are going to look at that. Well, I don't want to spend that money. And then you're going to say, so what do you want to do? What do you want to do? When you start sitting there and just, trying to please everybody, yammering, nobody believes you. You got to tell people, and you got to say, what do you want? You want to raise taxes, pay for this stuff, or do you not want to raise it? You want to, if we're going to raise taxes or we're going to reduce it, you've got to give something up. Either that or we're going to charge more. It's just got to happen. Nobody is saying that. And that's because they're thinking, well, what am I going to do?
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah. I'm done.
We've said this on this show many times in the over 2 years now, or a year and a half. that it appears and it seems that we have to follow the money, but it also appears that certain individuals in state government, when they make a phone call, they want to fund something up here. They get the money no matter how they get it, and it's only a collective few people around that make something or getting something in return. I'm sorry, but this I-85, 4 miles in it, in this, all this, there is people making millions and millions of dollars on the backs of the taxpayer, when we could have done all of the other stuff and moved it more towards fixing our, look, as long as we've got what we've got, we'll never be able to move forward and fix it. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And you have said this, Chris, many times. The damage has done. I think it's too far gone to be able to fix anything that, any semblance of what I believe Oconee wants to be. We want people to be able to have jobs, a good quality of life, safety, fire, EMS, all the just the basic needs of life that we need to survive. But it seems like there's 4 or 5 people making millions of dollars off the taxpayers of Oconee County.
Short term. It's like a Gatling gun. Boom, we're going to do this, because people are making money and they're screwing in the county. And what's happening is these people in these jobs should be thinking 2 generations ahead and have the balls to do something and lead and say, listen, guys, this does not make sense because we have to do it this way, or you're not going to be able to provide for your children.
You have to have the maturity to lead.
Exactly.
And you have to have the experience to lead. And
they don't.
I think the other thing to look at what's been so laughable is watching this play out in comparison to like the project that's going on in Walhalla, where you've got people screaming, oh, that, you know, the council or the mayor or whoever's going to be making money off of like the Greenway or whatever, which on that hand, I've begged anybody to show me how they're going to be doing that. Because it's just not.
Well, look at Durham's letter to the editor he wrote last week. You know, about all the blah 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 and the Constitution, this and conservation is not conservatism.
Yeah.
That's about the stupidest. Think of this. Think of you hunters out there. Do you want your hunting lands protected or not?
Well,
I mean,
yeah, and, you know,
that word sounds. But the point is this, and I'll finish. What this guy did is wrote a bunch of crap, and people are like, "How can you read that and not think this guy's nuts? He makes no sense. He's a kid. He's immature. He sucks as a leader. He's never been a leader. When has he been a leader?
Don't stop him. He's on a roll.
What has he done at Duke to lead? It did shit. You know, he
Don't
sits
stop
there.
him. He's on a roll.
And no, I mean, push a button here, push a button here. He's got an MBA. I don't give a shit. I got an MBA.
I got one too.
And Rannie, but you think I got a free ride? I had people look at me. Oh, really?
I have a doctorate in broadcasting. What y'all talking?
The point.
Refer to me as Dr. Jazzy Jeff, please.
You guys.
He is on a roll.
You guys let this majority blow smoke at you, and the only questions you be asking, what the hell have you done for us? And what the hell are you doing for us in the future?
turning red.
Because you have no plans
You'll
for
be
the
out of here in a
future.
minute.
Breathe real quickly. You're
You know
turning
what I
red.
mean.
I know what you mean.
It's so easy.
So-
I've been telling them for 2 years. These guys are crazy. They're not crazy. They're taking advantage of people. He got up in front of the council and said the whole problem was Marxist, communist, and globalist, and socialist. Who the hell says that shit? That's
He
like
did.
Looney Tunes.
Well,
It is Looney Tunes.
Well-
And what I wanted to say about
I'm done. Thank you for letting me go.
what I wanted to say about the comments about not being conservatives, not being conservationists, and not this or that, and also to talk about the planning and how you don't have a responsibility or my property rights or this or that. I think it's looking at it because all these people also like to squawk about their Christian beliefs. And so y'all go ahead and send me the ugly emails and stuff and question my faith, and that's not what it is.
It had nothing
Because
to do with being a Christian.
what I want to say to you is get out your Bibles and look and put, but go back and read it because I don't think these people do. That God put you in charge of every creeping thing. Go back and read it. It puts you in charge of every creeping thing in the lands. So what that means is, as a landowner and as a Christian and as a conservative Christian, if that's what you believe yourself to be, that gives you great responsibility. And you don't want to be told what to do with your land. Well, you shouldn't have to be told what to do with your land. But in the event that you're not doing what you should be doing with your land, and you got a junk car, and you're leaking oil into God's soil, and you're not taking care of, and you're poisoning every creeping thing, then you have to be held accountable. And that's where man comes in and has to make these rules and make you accountable to take care of every creeping thing, because that's what we're charged to do. So do your job, dude, do your job. If that's what you believe.
You said it. I mean, I believe everything you just said.
It's not about being neat or looking pretty, but it is about not poisoning stuff and not trashing up what we've got. So there's that about zoning.
Or using the bathroom in proper receptacles.
Yeah, it's about not poisoning land and animals.
If you're going to coexist with a citizenry that is basically, your neighbors, you got to have rules. You can't. It's not the Wild
It's
West
not
anymore.
anarchy.
So I've been talking to some folks this week that really, really care about what's going on. And one of them told me, said, once you put down the concrete, you can't farm it no more.
Nope.
You can't farm concrete. And the other thing I want to talk about with all this growth, and we're talking about this stuff, why would you want to build 6,000 houses somewhere where there's a 25 to 30 minute response time from EMS?
Look at the cliffs.
Why would you want to do that? So if they're going to,
Well, let's talk about the cliffs for a second,
I
because the
wouldn't.
cliffs actually has their own fire department.
right?
Or maybe they're going to get their own.
Because
fire department.
they didn't want to have that kind of response time, because they had someplace burned down, was my understanding, waiting on that response time. So when you go in and you have a community out in the middle of nowhere, then these people, and I think we've had some discussion about this, these developers come in and say, hey, we're going to build X number of houses, then maybe they should start taking the responsibility to say, we're also going to put in some, we're going to put in a fire station.
Dude, Cathy, I remember the day.
We're going to put in a school. We're going to put in
Those
this.
should be.
really-
hold on, Jeff. Those should be the fee in lieu of agreements that the
Yes.
county makes with these places.
Yes.
Is if you build a 6,000 home
You got to do X, X, and
HOA,
X.
you have to provide the school and the fire department, and we'll staff it because your tax money from your residents are going to pay for the staff. But when you build this community, it needs to have a it needs to have a firehouse, a rescue squad, a police, a school.
And you're right.
A satellite
You're-
police station,
right.
yeah.
You're right.
Well, let me say
But
this.
you're right, but there's not. But because it's not zoned and there's no building,
They
that's
can't
not
tell
gonna
them
happen.
there. That's right.
This 6,000 thing or whatever, it could even be more.
Oh, well-
the point is, they're just talking. They're even talking. It's just like, can they get the money? Sorry, Jeff.
That's
Go ahead.
okay. I'll even go back even further, 25. Let's go back 25 years, Cathy. At one time, we only had 5 EMS trucks for all of Oconee County. And if you had a heart attack in Mountain Rest, you were SOL.
What do they
Long
do now?
Creek.
It's just like
Well,
Rannie,
you've got 7 to 10
Randy comes to
ambulances.
get you.
but what they've done is they've taken some of the ambulances and they've put them out into the county. Oakway's got one. Seneca Rescue Squad's got one for that side. Wahala's got one. Salem, no, not Salem, but Kiwiki's got one. Station 17, they've got one there. So you have the ambulances now that are out in the community.
Hey, but
20
just
years ago,
remember this too. Our ambulance service is a private company. Prisma does not work for the county. Prisma does what Prisma wants to
That's
do.
right.
And when there's a school bus that gets hit on 85 and they take 2/3 of our ambulances to go respond to a mass casualty crisis
That's right.
2 counties away because they didn't take anybody from Pickens County because that's not part of their
That's right.
group, we have a problem in that EMS thing.
Well,
Pickens
see,
County.
and that was my question about, and I know I'll get the emails and the hairy eyeball about this. The other
never get
day
anything.
with the shooting, with the number of people that responded to what happened there, I thought, and actually had the conversation at my house, what would have happened if there had been another big accident or something on the other side of the county?
We've been screwed.
What if there had been a multi-vehicle accident, like up in Westminster or something?
We've been screwed.
Everybody else is down here on the other side of the county.
We would have been.
What would have happened?
But they're generally that far away from every accident that happens anyway. There's going to be a drive and response time. So somebody would have had to get in their truck and move on.
You do know
So-
where this happened at, right?
Fort Bass, all the
Yeah.
way down on the very bottom of the county.
The very, very
Yeah.
tip end of the county. It's
Yeah.
about almost 3 miles from exit 1.
But it seemed like everybody was down there. I mean, Jennifer and Luke were in the area. I mean, I don't know how I missed the party.
I don't think she was with him.
No,
From-
she was
Right.
down there.
Yeah,
they
that's
were
what I'm saying.
all, both of them were
But-
down there, and they were doing some work at a
But it
home down
did-
there, and they were stuck down there. They would not let them leave.
It did feel like that everyone in the county was
Yes.
in Fort Bass.
Yes, because this is something that Mike Crenshaw has brought up, and this is a true fact. In recent time, this has never happened. We have never heard officer down on county radio traffic. It's
so-
never happened.
Right, but listen to this, and I know that Mr. White is watching, and he can verify this. But at 6:30 last night, we got a call for a truck in a ditch up on
Wigington Overlook.
Wigington Overlook. Well, it was a little after 8:30, 2 hours later. It seemed like before Highway Patrol showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you want to build 6,000 houses up there? I'm just saying.
I'm just a
I'm saying there
newscaster.
is no the response time for anything up there
You're right.
without further infrastructure buildup. That's gonna be a good idea.
At the end of the day,
But what
somebody's
is-
got to pay for this.
Right, and it's gonna be me.
And
It's going to be me.
And I don't disagree. But the question I ask you is this. I'm going to make a statement.
Luke
This
says he
is
was
what
there
I've
for
been
2
hearing.
hours.
Yeah.
It's not they're drawing money in. The question is, with this developer that was the guy that came in and talked tonight, not the guy that's talking about the roads, the other dude, what do they care about?
And
You know,
I
and you
remember,
make a good, Randy, you're making a good point. But then you got a builder that's like, well, you know what?
The builder don't even want to sit here and have that
Why do
conversation.
I even care?
So last night at 10:30, I left that scene. I'll be right back. And so from 6:30 when the call went out till 10:30, that's 4 hours.
yeah,
4 hours you're away from your family.
Right.
That's 4 hours
yeah.
of time to fix a truck in a ditch. So
right, but what you're talking about issues that are common sense.
but if you
issues,
put another 6,000 cars,
Exactly. What are you gonna
12,000
do?
cars on the road up there.
and you're going to say,
Now, you
how in
just
the hell do you
imagine
think
if somebody
how-
had been hurt and
Yes.
needed
Hey,
to get
yeah,
somewhere.
So your
Hey,
question,
listen,
how are you going to help
the
somebody?
smallest pothole we got in the road, you can put a 50-gallon barrel in.
Yep.
Yeah,
Those
The
roads
smallest
up there are
one.
awful.
right. So you're saying, guys,
sorry.
you're drawing. People want it. You know why people are interested? They know damn well they'll be able to sell it.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
But you're saying, well, wait a minute, people. You want to buy a house or have a house built there? We can't save you. When
No,
you look up there, and when I tell you what, Gladys and I were looking at. Does anybody know where Mountain Island Lake is? Up in Charlotte. You got Wiley, Mountain Island, and then you have Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
And Gladys will say this. We were looking at all these lakes, and I went to Mountain Island, and we were talking to this realtor, and every time we'd look someplace, I'd say, how close are you to the hospital? And so Gladys, and the woman would kind of look at me. Well, she knew what I was asking. And Gladys said, you asked that. And I said, Gladys, we're getting older. I don't want to die because nobody knows where I am.
And that's another thing. People that can afford to pay $255 a square foot for a 4,000 square foot house are not healthy. They are on the other end of the age spectrum where they're going to require more services from more facilities. So it's not even close to a doctor up there. So, but hey, we'll just drive over to Greenville for whatever. That's great until that ticker quits ticking and you wishing you was closer to Greenville.
Randy, that's what we're doing
And-
now. We're loading them up here, or matter of fact, a lot of times we're not even loading them to Oconee. We're putting them in a helicopter
listen.
and sending them straight to
Hey,
Greenville, bypass this hospital.
Hey, but it's so busy though, and it's not just going to Greenville. They're going to Gainesville. There's multiple agencies coming in here to help us out because we already got a problem.
We got a problem and have had a problem for the
And
last 10 years.
so-
Yeah, because our hospital can't do any kind of heart surgery, you know?
Hey, every time
no
I've gone,
heart surgery, but now they can do heart cast and they can stent at Oconee now.
Yeah.
every time I've gone to Oconee for something, I have been pleasantly pleased.
Oh, yeah, they
But-
do a great job.
But
what
thing
they
about
do.
it is,
There was a time, though.
I'm in my 40s, and I don't require some of the things that Chris may require.
Well,
That's right.
look,
I want the best.
But
Hold on.
but the thing about it, I've got a neighbor,
I'm 30. I was 36 when I had my massive heart attack,
right? But I've got
and they could not get a helicopter, and they take off code 3 with me to Greenville.
But I've got a neighbor that absolutely refuses to go have any medical stuff done except in Atlanta.
Atlanta?
He if something happens, he gets an ambulance take him all the way to Atlanta because he doesn't. He was here during the time when
Yep.
We remember.
weren't doing well, and
We remember.
he's got the resources to make it happen for himself, and he's got to go all the way down there. So
You know what, though? When you talk about this, you take it in its present state, or even just a year ago. Now, look at all this. A year ago, when I talked in front of the Planning Commission, I didn't think it would. I knew there was a problem, but I never thought in a million years this crap was all this other stuff. And now you're adding it on top of it. And an example, when you're right, like an example, what if and Gladys and I have been talking about me getting a vasectomy. Can I get one here, or do I got to go to Greenville?
But more than likely, they'll transfer you to Greenville.
They have that?
Well,
I mean,
think about
anything that you want to have done, unless it's a gallbladder.
I was joking. I
Unless-
don't want to embarrass my wife.
Hold on, unless it's a gallbladder or something minor,
Well,
you
just
can have
think
it done
about-
up here, but they're going to load you up and they're going to send you to Greenville. If
Well,
you need
just
to
think-
see a specialist, you're going to Greenville.
Think about babies. Think about babies.
Yeah.
80,000 people in a county, half of them are women. So women have babies. You go to Oconee, any complication, they are not going
They don't
to
have a
deliver a premature baby
No.
here.
They don't have a NIC unit here?
They do not have a NIC unit here.
well, that
you
Anthony
have to
needed
go to
one.
Greenville.
I believe there would be a small increase in childbearing women age that would come here, but if it's $500,000 houses, $1 million homes that are being built, and there's no affordable housing being built for people, you're going to have geriatric problems way before
we do
you
now.
I don't know
have.
that. We might have more kids.
Hold on. We do now. Hey, we've had a geriatric problem for 30
right,
years
but,
here.
But if you bring another 12,000 geriatrics in here, that's a whole community.
Then it would stand to reason that you would think that we would expand the hospital to have
But
a heart center.
But the county don't
and-
own the hospital.
Yeah, they do.
It's ran by Prisma,
It's ran.
and Prisma rules will dictate whatever. And then we've got to defeat that whole bed thing where was certificate of need. Well, until they redo that legislation, you're not going to get a bigger hospital.
By the
here.
way, we have the old hospital just sitting over there.
Where?
Being
What
used for.
Where's old hospital?
We have 2 hospitals.
Where's the other one?
Right behind the new one.
What's there?
That was the original hospital. That was the original.
Is it empty?
Oh yeah, it's junk now. They've got offices and stuff. They still have 100 and something rooms over there that they've not used in 10 years.
Well, it's in South Carolina. They do that. They'll build something right beside,
Yeah,
Yes.
South
beside
Carolina
something,
is
and then
horrible.
let it
Yes.
become.
That's the original Oconee Memorial built in 1963, and then they added on to it in 76, the front part, and then it was a 2-story when they added the new surgical wing and the new ER, and then they built the patient tower. That's the newest one.
But
Okay, so we have the rooms that it would seem like to me that you could do the old hospital, when we talk about geriatric problems, into a long-term critical care facility for our patients, because that is a huge need. You ask anybody in our medical industry right now, that our geriatrics, we're reaching that age. I mean, it started
And how many times have you heard somebody say, their mom or somebody has had a fall
and had to go outside.
They need to go to rehab,
and had to
they
go to Anderson or Greenville.
They wind up going to Anderson, Greenville, sometimes
Yeah.
Spartanburg,
Yes.
and the family have to run up and down the road to go see them, or that they don't have a bed and they wind up sending them home before they're ready to go home, and they wind up getting hurt
But they
again.
got Lila Doyle, right?
But
That's-
Lila Doyle is full.
It's full to capacity.
And the ones that we've got that are available are friggin' dumps. They're so bad, I would not put my mother in it. And that's a fact. That's true. I mean, I could take you, Chris, and I'll take you a road trip and show you some of these places.
I don't want to go see one of those
Oh,
places.
yeah, you do. You
know,
want to go.
jinx it.
You want to see this.
I want to see some of those houses that we're going to get a slideshow of.
Yeah, that's coming, by the way. We got a little special project in the next 2 weeks.
It's affordable housing.
We're going to discuss affordable. No, we're going to discuss affordable rental housing.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see
And
that.
we're going to take a little road trip and show you some
take some-
properties.
Yes, properties.
And we're going to put some pictures up for everybody to be able to see.
Now, we're not going to say who owns it.
We're not going to say who owns it.
No.
Well,
But you can use your determination and imagination of who owns some of this. We're talking dumps. Listen, it is 7:42. We need to go ahead and wrap this up. There's not much in the council meeting other than a few votes. One was the Utica plant project.
Are we going to listen to what their responses were?
They voted, but we're not going to be able to hear anything else on what comes out in executive
I
session.
thought maybe they were going to talk some more and
No.
respond to what Mr. John said.
No, they've already completed council comments.
yeah, they didn't have any.
They didn't have
they
any.
didn't. They didn't even respond to him.
No. No, imagine that.
That's just rude.
Well, just imagine that. That's what they do. Again, just remember, we're inching down towards a new year in January 2024. And I believe that 2024 will be the most pivotal moment in Oconee history. Because there is things that are either going to happen or we're going to stay the status quo. And if it stays the status quo and we keep the three here, we got a problem. Pickens County looking more attractive every day to me.
You know what? You're making a really good point.
I'm serious.
And it's not, listen, Mize has always been nice. I like Don, okay?
I did.
I
He's
mean,
nice.
from a personal perspective.
Personal, yes, nice.
I
but
just heard Glenn and Durham. I have never met Durham in person. Never.
you have to look down to him.
Well, here's the problem. You're making a good point, but I think it's even more critical. People never think that when they got a kid that's about 2 years old and they want to be here, which is great. They want their children, their grandchildren, whatever. These decisions and what these guys are doing right now, they're making decisions for generations. And Rannie said, and I've said this, and Randy's heard me say it before when you talked about cement. You start pouring cement and you start creating buildings that are shoddy buildings and everything, and you haven't taken into consideration infrastructure things, you have screwed a county for several generations. And these guys do not have the maturity or the strength or the will to make decisions like that cause heat on them, but are the right thing and the mature thing to do. And that's what we have here.
Real quickly, we're going to go around the table here.
Oh, good. I get to say something else.
Yeah, you get to say something else. I'm going to take the lead on this one. Back Thursday, of course, we all know about the shooting and with the deputy shot. And I want to say firsthand that Sunday night, it's amazing that I seen the community come together for a prayer and healing. And I believe that prayer works. I believe that miracles do happen. And miracles do happen for the simple fact that back several years ago, we had another police officer, Ken Kirby was his name. And Ken had a massive heart attack. And a lot of folks know that they did a story on this. He was called Officer Lazarus because he was technically clinically dead for almost an hour.
How long, when was that?
10 years ago, 15 years ago. And they kept working with him at Oconee, and they had already given up. And all of a sudden a nurse walked in and was getting ready to clean up everything, and he had already been pronounced dead, and then the nurse found a pulse. So I do believe in miracles.
And he survived.
He survived. He lived. He unfortunately passed away a year and a half ago for
But he
COVID.
got another 9 years.
He got another 9 years,
That's a
and he even went back to work as a cop.
Really?
He worked for the city of Seneca. He was a cop. So as we move into Thanksgiving, I know that we sit here on this show and we talk about all the ins and outs, but we really have some good people in Oconee County.
Well,
The vast majority of people.
Absolutely.
And I love this county. I'll die here. I'm not going anywhere. But it really bothers me to see how certain people have taken the county into a direction that has repercussions. But I also want to say that this coming Thursday, I hope that people are able to spend time with your family. That's what Thanksgiving's all about. And a big thanks for all the people that prayed, came out, because when a crisis hits and it affects people in our county, we come together. And if people could take that feeling for a little bit longer, I think Oconee County would be a whole lot better, because it sure was nice to see everybody from all walks of life come together for one goal. And that's the prayer of one person. I just think that it would be great to see everybody come together, no matter what, just for a common cause, and move this county forward and our friends and neighbors. So that's why I kind of want to be thankful for this coming Thursday for Thanksgiving. And also I'm thankful for a wife that's put up with me for 6 years. So that's what I wanted to say tonight.
Okay. You want me to go next?
Yeah, go ahead next. And
Okay. So everything Jeff said, I agree 100%. And, Gladys and I have been married for 43 years. She's from South Carolina. We got married and moved her to Detroit, and that was the first move. And we moved a lot of places. And I grew up in a town actually a little bit smaller than Westminster. It was next to another city that was larger. But when I moved here, and I had friends and even her aunt saying, you're going to move, and I told people, I said, I'm going to move the day they see me coming out on a stretcher with a sheet over my head. And what I found in this county is we have a lot of good people, people from around the world, and people that I've become friends with that grew up here. And what's amazing is that people don't understand is that what their views are and my views and what they want for their families. A lot of it's the same. We differ on some things, but that's fine. But you end up with and I've been careful to say this, and Jeff knows this. In this golden corner, you have a very, very small majority that loves to stir that crap up. And they've been very successful with the model they've used. This county is in trouble for the next few generations because of this group was very successful, basically trashing zoning, all this type of stuff that we need. And when you have people pitted against each other, and it's been bad. And we just need to do something. And we get into 2024, it's going to be a tough year. It's an election year, but believe me, we can get by, but we just have to think about it. We have to be mindful of that and actually appreciate the differences we have, because that's how you make a community better for your families. And that's it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Who wants to take it next?
Kathy?
You want to go, or you want me to
Either
go?
way.
Okay. I was just gonna. I've been thinking about everything that happened Thursday, and I'm mostly thinking about that family, and just how overwhelming it is to have a 7-week-old baby when everything is perfect. I have 4 children, and it's overwhelming, not just the first time, but every time. So I wanted to say to people, and here again, like I've said several times tonight, send me the hateful emails and give me the hairy eyeballs. But y'all be mindful of those folks, because they're not used to being the center of attention. They're not used to being on TV and on the radio and talked about. And they're going to be overwhelmed. They're going to be overwhelmed. They would have been overwhelmed if everything was perfect with a 7-week-old baby, much less with what's going on. And the fact that the community has come together is absolutely amazing, and what has happened is amazing. But their life has forever changed. And just be mindful, because when somebody goes through something very life-changing, it is quite overwhelming. So be mindful and give them space if they need it, because they might not want to talk, and they might not want to be the center of attention. So if they want to go away and want to be quiet, let them, and don't think badly of it. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful, safe, and happy holiday.
All right, Mr. Bond.
So yeah, I guess we all got the same sentiments about the deputy. It was a tragedy, but one of the blessings that I see in all of this is that it did happen close to home. I've been thousands of miles away from home and watched somebody have the same type trauma, and then get flown another 1,000 miles further from family, and have to recover on their own.
Yeah.
He does have that. He has that here. And the family doesn't have to try to move to a foreign country to just be with their loved one. It was very tragic. Absolutely was. And the community comes out real well to help each other. And I think that's something to be very, very thankful for. I just think about, last year at Oktoberfest when Bruce and his wife Crystal got hit with that motorcycle. Man, I tell you what, people poured right on out for them, and that was really good. But then we had a lot of scumbags that want to talk about them later on when he's got his life together and he takes a trip or this or that or the other. You get some scuzzball saying, "Well, I gave money to that, and look, he's gone to a concert," or something like that. It was total bullshit. So,
And you'll have that.
and yeah, but
will.
it comes from that one group of people. And hopefully those people will leave this guy alone and his family when he does have an opportunity for some respite that he can enjoy himself. So be thankful for family this week, because we see last Thursday how quick we could lose them.
In a flash.
And Jeff, congratulations on your
Yep.
anniversary.
Yes.
I remember the last 2 times I'd been married for 6 years. And I'm approaching my sixth anniversary coming up.
Well,
in April.
the first one lasted 14.9 years, but it should have never happened to begin with. So,
but I just want you to know that we wish you well.
You too.
And
I wish all y'all well, and I appreciate our friendship. And this is kind of a therapeutic for us.
Yeah.
Because we all came from all walks of life. Me and Cathy probably are the longest ones that's been here. I was born and raised here, and I have a deep passion for our community. I grew up here. I remember when there was absolutely nothing here. So you had to go to Anderson to eat.
Right. I got a couple more things I wanted to say though. The trash facilities,
they're closed.
They're going to be closed Thursday and Friday. Resume business Saturday.
Yep.
Okay.
All local governments, county, and the cities are closed Thursday and Friday.
Well, the people that aren't closed is going to be your EMS and your fire department.
24/7.
But here's the thing. Be smart with your turkey fryers.
Yes.
Thaw your turkey.
Yeah,
dry it off. Yeah. Don't burn your damn house down, because I'm going to be eating turkey too, and I'd like to enjoy my turkey before I got to come put your turkey out. So,
and the good news is Walmart
careful.
is closed Thanksgiving.
Walmart
is closed in Seneca Thanksgiving.
And then also we're approaching the season. Domestic violence is going to be huge
Friday.
Tomorrow, and the stress of tomorrow and Thursday going into this the stress is going to be high. Stop sitting in your recliner, drinking your beer, hollering at your wife. She's got to be making you turkey. She's getting all that stuff together. Get up and help her. All right, don't be mad about it.
Don't fight over the last piece of turkey.
Right. Yeah, 12A, they want to be home with their family too.
Yeah.
So nobody needs to be hitting anybody. All right. Just don't do it.
I've got something
again.
I got something special for us before we go.
Alice's Restaurant?
Nope.
Oh, come on.
Let's listen to it. You ready?
All right, fellow babies, and now it's time to go to our live remote man on the scene at the Pinedale Shopping Mall for the big WKRP turkey giveaway. So, take it away, Les Nessman.
This is Les Nessman, your man on the scene here at the Pinedale Shopping Center, where the excitement is mounting. We're here to witness the big WKRP Turkey Thanksgiving giveaway.
Hey, you got permission to be out here?
What?
You're blocking my store here, buddy.
Don't you know who I am? I'm Les Nessman. I won the Buckeye News Hawk Award last year.
Good for you, Buckeye. Now get out of my doorway.
I'm sorry. Creep?
So far, so good, huh?
I'm here with hundreds of people who have gathered to witness what has been described as perhaps the greatest turkey event in Thanksgiving Day history. All we know for sure is that in a very few moments there are going to be a lot of happy people out here. Now the crowd is curious but well behaved. And I think I hear something now. The crowd is moving out into the parking area. And oh yes, I can see it now. It's a helicopter. And it's coming this way. A helicopter? It's flying something behind it. I can't quite make it out. It's a large banner. And it says, Happy Thanksgiving. From W-K-R-P. What a sight, ladies and gentlemen. What a sight. The copter seems to be circling the parking area now. I guess it's looking for a place to land. No, something just came out of the back of the helicopter. It's a dark object. Perhaps a skydiver plummeting to the earth from only 2,000 feet into the air. Second to the third. There's no parachutes yet. Those can't be skydivers. I can't tell just yet what they are, but... Oh, my God, they're turkeys! Oh, Johnny, can you get this? Oh, they're crashing to the earth right in front of our eyes! One just went through the windshield of a parked car! This is terrible. The cars running around, pushing each other? Oh, my goodness! Oh, the humanity! Oh, people are running about. The turkeys are hitting the ground like sacks of wet cement. I don't know how much longer the crowd is running for their lives. I think I'm going to step inside. I can't stay out here and watch this any longer. No, I can't go in there. Children are searching for their mothers, and not since the Hindenburg tragedy has there been anything like this. I don't know how much longer I can hold my position here, Johnny. The crowd...
Les, are you there? Les isn't there. Thanks for that on-the-spot report, Les. For those of you who just tuned in, the Pinedale Shopping Mall has just been bombed with live turkey. Film at 11.
As God is
My witness.
I thought turkeys could...
Now, the date on that was actually November the 22nd, 1978.
What did he say? As God is my witness, what?
God is my witness. I thought turkeys could fly. And I swear, Les Nessman reminds me like Dick Manger from WGOG. That sounds like something they'd go do at Applewood Shopping Center. A bunch of live turkeys. All right, well, folks, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the show this evening. It is time to get out of here. It's top of the hour of 8 o'clock. We're going to enjoy Thanksgiving this weekend, so there is no Sunday show. Yes, Emma. Yes, that's correct. She wanted me to remind you that, unfortunately, next Sunday, which would be December the 3rd, yes, I believe, December 3rd, there won't be a show either because they have a Christmas parade. So if you want to do it Monday or whatnot, we'll get with you. Seneca Christmas Parade is this coming Monday. Big parade. It's downtown Seneca coming up Monday, which will be the 27th. God, it's just, we're so packed, so much going on. So anyway, that being said, it is time to pack up and get out of here. We will see everyone real soon. Again, thank you for joining us tonight on Let's Talk Oconee here. Have a good evening, everybody.
Oh, cool. What's the money on this gig? Come on.
Ladies, you here for the audition?